Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those in between, a warm welcome to you. This edition presents you the real story of an extraordinary journey of a man from India to Sweden. The lessons for a lasting relationship and why we should rise above the barriers and borders in the interest of oneself, ourself, yourself, and humanity. The life of Pradyumna Kumar Mahanandia is more than a romantic odyssey. It is a testament to the endurance of the human spirit and the power of art to transcend the rigid barriers of caste, religion, nationality, and geography. Born in 1949 in a remote village in Odisha, India, P.K. Mahanandia, affectionately known as PK, entered a world that sought to define him by the circumstances of his birth of ancient and unforgiving hierarchy. But at his birth, a village astrologer made a cryptic prophecy. PK would not have an arranged marriage. Instead, his future wife would come from a land far, far away. Her zodiac sign, Taurus, and she owned a forest. Most importantly, the prophecy foretold that PK would earn his livelihood through colors, art, portrait artist. Driven by a desire to escape the shackles of his caste and to become a painter, PK secured a scholarship at the Delhi College of Art in New Delhi. By the mid 1970s, he found himself as a street artist in New Delhi's Connaught Circus. It was a time of political upheaval, the emergency, and PK lived between hope and despair, occasionally finding shelter in police stations where officers, charmed by his talent, offered him food and a place to sleep. His talent eventually brought him into the orbit of the newspapers and establishment. After sketching a portrait of the visiting Russian cosmonaut Valentina Tereshkova, he became an overnight sensation, eventually meeting the incumbent Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. However, the most significant encounter of his life occurred on December 17, 1975. A young Swedish girl named Charlotte von Shedwin, who had traveled the hippie trail to India, sat before his easel. In that moment, the attraction was instantaneous and profound. The prophecy clicked into place. Charlotte's zodiac sign was Taurus, and her family in Sweden owned a forest. Though Charlotte eventually returned to Sweden, the bond they forged in New Delhi remained unbreakable. The hippie trail in reverse. For over a year, the two maintained their connection through letters, but the distance became unbearable. PK made a decision that would define his legacy. He sold his mere possessions, bought a second-hand bicycle, and decided to follow the hippie trail, but in reverse. In 1977, PK embarked on an epic journey from India to Sweden, about 5,900 kilometers, on a bicycle, then boarded trains to reach Sweden. With little money and ample art supplies as his primary currency, he pedaled through Afghanistan, Iran, and Turkey.
In the beginning, I had faced the journey with my doubts and fears, my two enemies in the beginning. But slowly, I conquered my enemies through confidence and through willpower which came from the power of love, I feel.
So you crossed in, India, then entered Pakistan?
Pakistan, I met, it's an interesting story because I met people, they said they will help me to cross the Pakistan. There were Indians were not allowed to do. And someone said, I can do it for you. And I did his portrait also. He could enter me the area, but I was cut off. And this Pakistani police took me over jeep, and they took me back. I remember that time. And it was, they were very helpful. They gave me chai also, I remember. And he said, you cannot cross Pakistan without, if there is no visa system, nothing, you cannot, he said. So I went back. It is written in the book also, the interview, that they drove me back to this area. Few kilometers I understood, but I couldn't, it looks the same, the Amritsar or Pakistan, but it was a different route. People are smuggling things, I learned. And however, when I came and stayed in a youth hostel, they arranged me, I remember, Amritsar. And there was made a professor, a Hindi professor is called, his name is Jain, Professor Jain, who knew me through my brother. He helped me with a ticket directly to Kabul from Amritsar.
In a world characterized by the peace and freedom of the 1970s, he found camaraderie among truckers and fellow travelers. He realized the biggest obstacles were not the rugged terrains or the lack of money, but his own internal doubts. By maintaining his confidence and bravery, he kept malicious spirits at bay, proving that self-doubt is the only true threat to a traveler's soul. After nearly 5 months of cycling, PK arrived in Sweden. When I first met him at an event called Opportunity Day in 2017, organized by Helena Lindahl, PKG recalls the day he landed in Sweden.
It was 28th May 1977. I arrived here 11 o'clock and it was written post. And because everywhere when we travel at that time, people are connecting through post restante. So when I was in Kabul, for example, then I was going to the post office, head post office, to find my letters. The same procedure I did on the way, and same thing I did here that day. I came here to collect my post, I remember. 28th of May, it was a big post office. And I showed my passport. My name starts from P and M. I showed my passport here, this beautiful hotel today. And this postman or clerk, he said, oh, P and M, Then he gave me a big bag of letters, starts with P and starts with M. So I took 2 to 3 hours to search all the 1,000 of letters with M and P, and then found 2 letters of my own. That took 2-3 hours, I must tell you. That was the way we are connecting. But when I came, I remember the same day, 28th of May 1977, one man was standing and waiting for this tram to go to Solganska, and he shouted, I said, hello PK, welcome to Sweden. I felt on the steps of this post office, I felt, oh my God, I feel people know me here. And this man was a customer in Connaught Place. I did his portrait half a year ago.
PK Mahanandia transitioned from a street artist in Delhi to an internationally recognized personality now. He has raised a family. He serves as a cultural advisor, messenger of peace and love, and seeing his work featured by organizations like UNICEF and appreciation from the Prime Minister of India.
Maharashtra, I just 10 days back, I shared your post on my FB. Just, amazed. Like, I just. Such a nice feeling.
I love this Sweden. The country Sweden is. I love Sweden. Whole Scandinavia is fantastic. You know, they have a certain. They have a special belief systems in their brains. I feel we have many things to learn. You know,
Such as?
such as this, for example, the Jantelagen. Have you heard about this? That's unique. Or allmännsrätten, I don't know.
Right to everyone to walk.
These things is very unique in the world, and the world can learn many things from Sweden, and that is very fascinating.
P.K. Mahanandia and Lotta's story was first chronicled by the Swedish journalist Per J. Anderson as a biography in the Swedish language, titled New Delhi to Borås, published in 2014. Later, the book was translated in English in 2017 by Anna Holmwood. Since then, the book has slowly and steadily started to gain recognition from here and there in Europe. Now, the book is translated into more than a dozen languages, including German, Portuguese, and Chinese. It proves that love can dismantle the most entrenched social, linguistic, and national barriers. In fact, P.K. Mahanandia is surprised at the reception for the book and attributes it to the people.
And now book has been translated into all major languages of the world, like Chinese, Russian, English, and German. In the heart of Europe, it is bestseller. I never thought about this. And the love actually shown me the way. Not only to me, I feel my children are very proud and happy, and they are global citizens.
He also attends functions at the invitation of cultural organizations in Sweden, such as for the celebration of Durga Puja. He obliges to the requests of people who are charmed by his story to visit their establishments, such as to the spice room. People recognize him, like at this tandoori kitchen restaurant. Perhaps they have heard about him, and he obliges to take a photo with him or to interact with them.
Maharashtra, just 10 days back, I shared your post on my FB. Just, amazed. Like, I just. Such a nice feeling.
Mrs. Lotta, how is it possible to have a marriage that's still going on strong after almost 4 decades?
It's tolerance, and we're growing together. We're married in both physical and in a spiritual way. So
Why I ask this question is because if you look at Sweden and many parts of the world, the institution of marriage itself is breaking down.
Because we are forgetting ourselves as an individual. Most people are forgetting because there's so much around we're looking at the outer climate that people are talking. We are forgetting our inner climate as an individual person. It doesn't matter if it's an Indian or Swedish. Every individual has a responsibility to see into the inner climate. And when the inner climate is not in balance, then that will manifest it outer climate. What is happening now? The thoughts, I told you, that we are thinking. World is actually in a perfect balance now. But the thoughts in our mind is not perfect, not in balance. And which is reflecting in our inner climate, and then we are seeing outer climate is a disaster, we think. So it's very important to look into the inner climate
Sir, it seems very abstract. What is your suggestion? What is your opinion?
Everything starts from a thought, power of thought.
What the thought should be?
Thought should be that we have a strength, the creativity, the faith in yourself. The happiest man on this planet is not happy unless he believes in it. So you have an inner strength, your creativity. That we have to think about, how to create. The creativity within us can save the world. Marriage can be saved only with your creativity, your inner climate. You must have a balance. You must feel good yourself, Then you can share. When I feel good, I share with my wife, with my children. Then there is no way that you can be divorced. When you don't feel inside good, you don't feel inside. Only you will see the outside, what is happening. Outside, there are many divorces in Sweden, I know. Because that is reflection of the inner. So it's always connected, the inner climate and outer climate. We must look, concentrate on the balance.
Thank you very much, sir. So one more thing, when you were growing up in New Delhi and you were studying at the College of Arts, you were in love with a woman, but her father did not accept you because of your caste and because of your economic status.
Yeah.
But such things still exist in India, either caste or religion or region or economic status.
Yeah.
What is your message to all those so-called fathers and mothers of India?
My message is to look into your inner self, that I call inner climate. Don't just see outer climate. We see an inner climate, we feel. How you feel should be in balance. Then you can expect the better balanced world. People are only looking what is they see, and it's like finding mistakes. What is now climate? Now this climate, expect climate. They are just, what they are saying is, what they see, that our future is robbed. We don't have any future. That's why we don't go to school and we protest. You understand?
Yeah.
Because to criticize others, I don't see as a merit. People think it's a merit. One person, or doesn't matter what profession, is an engineer or politicians or artist, it doesn't matter. If someone criticizes other person, that means he sees the reflection of his own. If I say, Mr. Ganapatiji, you have a good, some quality, I liked it, that means I see my reflection of my own in you. So it's best to see the best in you, which is best for me and best for you. If I see the worst, that is worse for you and I worse for me also. But of course, constructive criticism, you can do that. But it should be with respect.
Sir, but in India, what is the solution, sir? Because still we have these institutions and prejudices.
Yeah, because I'd like to see the concept of thinking. You have to look into our own thoughts. These thoughts should be very creative. You are a journalist, and you have to have your creative way. The things are within you already, talents, but that you have to use in a creative way, your talent, how to put the words. It's like a game, you put this word, I should put it, this word I should put first, this word I should put, there should be a strength, there should be a power that can spread like the water, rings on the water. And people will be affected positively. So you get the result.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, how is it possible for you to live in Sweden for more than 4 decades? Because when you compare to India, this is a cold, snowy, rainy country.
Yes, I don't see outside, I see the climate very much. I see the climate within me. It's warm in your heart, then I don't care. In the snow, in the middle of the snow, what I do headstanding. I just take my just trousers something and I do stand on my head for half an hour. Ask my wife and the children. I go half naked. I live in the forest, so I don't see it's cold when your heart is warm.
So you mean to say keep your hearts warm?
Yeah, inside your inner climate is very important as a person, as a human.
Thank you very much, sir. Ma'am, you know that, PKG, you discovered him in Connaught Circus as an artist. But coming from an aristocratic family, what did you see in this gentleman?
So the jungle boy. I was dreaming about a little elephant boy, so he was there. Very natural, very good-hearted person. So, yeah, this is his happiness and he's a sparkling man.
Ma'am, you are a unique person in the sense that you come from an aristocratic family, but you married a person, who is not at par with you. So this is something unusual in the world.
Because I saw him. I didn't see his whatever he was. I was so deep into him, and looking deep into him, I saw myself. So we united. We are oneness. There's no separation in that way.
How do you see your married life, ma'am? 40 years, you have 2 children. What do you see the future of your children and their children?
They are world members because they are mixed, so nationality is just washed away in one way. They are citizen of the world, you can say, yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. There are plans to make the life story of you and PKG into a movie. Feel about it?
There is a demand because people are talking about this story, and it's been a worldwide story now, and storytelling is very important. And that's why if the story can unite and help humans to live a better life, to cooperate and to find unity, then I think this film will be good for humanity.
In Sweden, PKG has been practicing and spreading yoga long before yoga became an everyday lifestyle choice in Sweden and beyond. He has been bringing Indian arts and handicrafts closer to the Nordic countries since late 1970s.
When people hear that Dr. P.K. Mahanandia cycled from India to Sweden for love, it sounds almost crazy. Mind you, this was the 1970s. No internet, no easy travel, no Google Maps. Just a young artist from a small village in India who made a promise and chose to honor it.
Never heard about the word visa at that time. There was no visa system. Many countries you could just cross. Some countries you had, but it's transit visa. It's not the same. Visa means now is very different. I learned. Kabul, for example, was I learned a lot about Afghan culture. I met a wonderful lady with she was begging, but she had beautiful dress. It's not dress of Afghan woman. It was I felt it something looks. I could see her face because most ladies they had covered their faces, but I learned that she's very connected to the ancient Greek culture. She was connected to. I learned a lot in Kabul, for example.
Right. But when you meet him in person, it feels deeply human. When I visited his home and studio in Boras, I noticed the United Nations flag in his campus. Strange, but it didn't feel decorative. It felt true to who he is. It just felt like him. Beyond citizenship, he carries a sense of belonging to the world. Later, when I invited him to speak at a public governance forum in India, what struck me as the moderator was his pure simplicity. No hype, no heroics, just conviction, shared with a contagious smile. His words, "Every distance can be crossed when the purpose is pure," continues to stay with me. Perhaps that's the real story, not the bicycle, not the kilometers, but the courage to live by one's word.
Today, this engrossing story is reaching a global audience through the documentary The Cycle of Love, directed by the Oscar-winning documentary filmmaker Orlando Von Einsiedel and executive produced by Priyanka Chopra Jonas. The documentary brings alive the 1977 journey to life. This documentary offers the authentic, raw truth of PK's endurance. And many studios around the world are interested to turn his life story into a motion picture.
To Hollywood or Bollywood, anyone, but we will decide and we will collaborate with other cultures. Now it's open for everyone to part of this film project. It's a global, it's for human. My story, I don't see myself that I own the story or my wife owns the story. It's by the people, for the people, of the people, like Abraham Lincoln said like that about democracy. I see my story is actually in different newspaper writing, in different interpretation, when I read, my God, so much inspiration they must have received to write such story,
What is the foundation for a lasting relationship in love? It is a simple philosophy that carried him across continents and continues to inspire millions. His secret for a lasting relationship is park your ego outside the house, and he emphasizes the importance of a family life.
Yes, Sweden will show the path of love. We have to strengthen the family relationship. And actually, I must tell you one thing I remember just now. I met in early 70s, I met a very wonderful person. His name was Daniel P. Moynihan. He was US ambassador in Delhi. I did his portrait. Same time I did portraits of Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad, Indira Gandhi, and then the Valentina Tereskova, and this Moynihan. And Moynihan told me at that time, you must think that family life. And I'm very happy to know about your family, he said. You must create a family, good family for yourself, that other will be beneficial, other will be inspired. When I was doing portrait, he told me many things I can't tell you now in this interview, but he actually, the man who became senator, he's dead now, he wrote a book before he died in Newark, Nation and Family, or it's Family and Nation, And it's a fantastic book, whole world should know, especially American also. At that time, he meant the American families in 70 was not good.
His life remains a vibrant canvas, a bridge between Indian and Swedish cultures and beyond, and a reminder that no distance is too great when driven by the heart. His journey is reported by newspapers somewhere in the world regularly. The leading newspaper in Bihar in northern India featured his life story on the front page on Valentine's Day this year.
Thanks to the power of love conquered at last. We have been happily married this year, 50 years now. And people, we are forgetting the true, the roots of humanity, that is love. We all come from love. We are proceeding towards love. That people are forgetting. I wish as humans we must not forget our roots we come from. Everything has two sides. Everything duality in the nature, Day has a daylight and dark night. Same thing, every human has two sides. A dark side, we are best in something and we are also worse in something. But we have to keep balance to follow our journey of life, I wish.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those in between, I thank you for your presence and your time. Wishing you peace and prosperity.